Welcome to my series, What Do I Need? Today, let's talk about paper. I'm Sally Allen, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm stamping with gas. Let's start out with cardstock. Cardstock is usually the base that you use for your cards. So you can buy the cardstock in every color, and we have several. Your basic colors are Very Vanilla and Whisper White. And we have envelopes that match. So we have the envelopes that match the Whisper White and the envelopes that match the Very Vanilla. And again, I've mentioned this in other videos. That's the beauty of Stampin' Up! There's no guesswork. So I know that if I have a card base of Very Vanilla, it's going to match my Very Vanilla envelope. Same thing with the Whisper White. All right, I'll get these out of my way. And I have a piece of cardstock here that's balmy blue. And they always come in 8.5 by 11. You can buy some of the colors in 12 by 12. So back to taking the guesswork out of it. When I choose balmy blue cardstock, I know that my ink pad, my Stampin' Write marker, and my blendability or my Stampin' Blends are going to match. So again, there's no guesswork. We also have ribbons and different kinds of embellishments that I can know that when I choose balmy blue, that anything else marked balmy blue is going to match. All right, so that's cardstock, and that's 8.5 by 11. So let's talk about designer series paper. And designer series paper is this. And you will hear a lot of demonstrators just say DSP. And that's a bad habit we have, because if you've been in Stampin' Up! A long time, you know what DSP is. But if you're a beginner, you don't know what that means. So that means a designer series paper that's printed. It's sometimes 12 by 12 like this is, so it's much wider than my cardstock, and they're printed on both sides. There are some designer series paper, mostly they're called specialty paper, and it might be more like a foil paper, that are not printed on both sides. But for the most part, our designer series papers are printed on both sides. When you get your designer series paper, it will come in a package like this. And on the back, they have, it tells you what the name of the paper is. So if you're watching a video and someone says, I'm using this paper from Snowflake Splendor, that's this paper. And then in little teeny tiny print, you'll see that it says all of the colors in this package of paper contain either or Balmy Blue, Coastal Cabana, Highland Heather, Misty Moonlight, Night of Navy, Pacific Point, Pool Party, and Whisper White. So we've already talked about our Whisper White. And so this piece of paper matches my Balmy Blue. So say I was going to make a wintry card or a Christmas card. I can count on this matching my Balmy Blue. So on this side, there are other colors as well. So I can bring in those colors, or I can stick with the Balmy Blue. Designer series paper also comes in a 12 by 12. So we have this paper, and this is in our mini catalog. So it's considered an all-season paper. So let me pull it out of here. It's also printed on both sides. So you can see if I wanted to make Christmas cards, I could pull out the ones that are Christmassy or set aside the ones that are fall. But let's look at the other side. So I can use that one, kind of a picnicky theme, or Christmas. And the same with that one. So there's just such a variety, and I love the fact that you can flip them over. All right, so let's look at here. So here we have plaid tidings, And we've got basic black, Cajun Craze, Cherry Cobbler, Cinnamon Cider, Mango Melody, Melon Mambo, Misty Moonlight, Pretty Peacock, Pumpkin Pie, Rich Razzleberry, Seaside Spray, Shaded Spruce, and Whisper White. That is a lot of colors. So this is a really versatile package of paper, which is why I bought it. I fell in love with the little stamp set in our mini catalog, and then I saw this and I thought, perfect, perfect, perfect paper for what I have in mind. All right, so that's our two kinds of DSP. It's a 6x6, so pay attention, because if you have a project in mind and you need that 12x12 paper, you wouldn't want to order this one because it's 6x6. But it tells you that in the catalog. We also have some specialty paper, and we have so much of it, I won't go into all of it right now, but I'll show you the two kinds that are pretty basic. And that's our foil paper, and that's going to shine a lot on my video. And this is just gold. It looks shimmery on the video, but it isn't. And this is the brushed metallic gold. And that one's new. And I really like the texture on this one. The other thing that we have in the mini catalog now is the black Glimmer Paper. And we also have Balmy Blue. So the Glimmer Paper will be like the Balmy Blue, this piece that I showed you before. So I'm excited about the black Glimmer Paper, because that will be really fun to work with for Halloween. All right. Well, back to being a newer stamper, when you have your cardstock, you're always going to cut your cardstock to begin a card. So say I'm going to use this Balmy Blue for the base of my card. And my basic measurements are always, I'm going to cut it, because this is 11.5, 8.5 by 11, sorry. So 8.5 by 11. So half of 11 is 5.5. So I'm going to cut it at 5.5. And then I'm going to move my cutter blade, and I'm going to score it at 4.25. So 8.5, half of that is 4.25. 11, half of that is 5.5. And then it gives me a perfect score line. Now I can have my card open this way or this way. You can also cut your paper going the long way and have it open the vertical way. Another really great thing for, I mentioned that we have, the glare on that is, I wanted to have a package that wasn't open. So this is Mossy Meadow, and so there's my Mossy Meadow ink, and look how great the Mossy Meadow ribbon is that is in our mini catalog. I'm really excited about the ribbons this year. You'll find a lot of Christmas paper in the big annual catalog, and then you'll also find it in the mini catalog. So that's, again, how Stampin' Up! Takes the guesswork out of putting together a card or a project. The other thing that we have is note cards and envelopes, and they come in a package like this. They're already cut and scored, so when they're open, it looks like this. So there's your score line right there, and all you have to do is fold and go. And these are made out of our thick cardstock. We have thick Very Vanilla and thick Whisper White. And sometimes if that's going to be your base, then you'll want to use the thick. Then you don't have to put an extra piece on the inside. It's more substantial. But if I start with my Balmy Blue, then I'll use a piece of cardstock on the inside for my greeting, like that. So the note cards, I often use these in a class because they're fast. It's already got the envelopes, everything's cut and scored. And when I have beginners, that's a great way to start. Okay, so we've talked about our cardstock, our envelopes and note cards. We've talked about our designer series paper that comes in 12 by 12 and 6 by 6. And we talked about two kinds of specialty paper. The glimmer paper that's like glitter, and the metallic paper. And I showed you the brushed gold. That's it for today. Thanks for stopping by. I hope to see you next time.